The fierce competition to land a contract to build a space elevator on Mars is over.
We're only a few weeks away from For All Mankind's 5th season, and as always, Apple has released some additional news footage from the alternative timeline to help bring us up to speed. So, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down one of these news clips. It's not going to contain any spoilers or anything like that for the show, don't worry. And if you want to check out more of them, they are available on the Apple website. So let's get into what's going on life on Mars. As always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review. But first of all, as always, thanks for taking the time to choose to watch the channel. If you haven't done it already, hit subscribe. So before we get into the video clip, Apple has released a little bit of an update on what's been going on. So Season 5 is going to pick up in the years since the Goldilocks asteroid heist, and the Happy Valley base has grown into a thriving human colony with thousands of residents and a base for new missions that will take us even further into the solar system. But with the nations of Earth now demanding law and order on the Red Planet, friction continues to build between the people who live on Mars and their former home, which basically has been set up in the trailer that we've seen already. Mars seems to be growing, Earth seems to be sort of shrinking in terms of what's going on with regards to the power base in the solar system. But this clip also suggests that there might be some changes in store for some of the characters as well. Namely, Dev Ayesa. Orb that's been released suggests that Dev might be losing his grip on Mars, which it seemed to be that he had a firm hold on because he was the last person we've seen at the end of Season 4 staring up at Goldilocks before it panned out and showed us the base that was mining on the far side of it. So let's take a look at the clip and what's going on. Now, it isn't too long, but there is quite a lot of details here, and if I've missed anything, as always, let me know in the comment. So the first piece of information it gives us is that Dev has some competition building the infrastructure on Mars. Up until this point, the news clip says that his company has built more than 85% of it, and judging from what we've seen in the earlier trailers, that is pretty impressive because it does look like a fully functioning human city rather than just a base or a colony. And this kind of mirrors exactly what happened with Dev's company on the moon Helios as well. They had the exclusive rights to mine the moon before it was decided they essentially had a monopoly on it, and it was split up, basically divided into other companies. And it looks as if the same thing might be happening here, because the big news in this clip is it seems that they're trying to build a space elevator similar to the Sky Bridge and Foundation to bring what's mined from the Goldilocks asteroid down to the Red Planet. Now, like most things in our timeline, this is only something that's been theoretical and not something that we've actually seen or even decided to try and build at any point, at least as far as I know. It has popped up in other sci-fi shows, movies and books as well. If you've recently seen the Brad Pitt film Ad Astra from a few years ago, that sort of has one of the space elevators or tethers too. Depending on what you're looking at and what you're reading, they do give them different names, but they all do the same job. But the fact that they're building this on Mars might be more important than it initially seems, because when you think about it, this saves fuel and money because they no longer have to use ships in order to bring what they've mined down to the planet to refine it. It also tells us that whatever they've mined from Goldilocks, they can now process on Mars without having to send it back to Earth as well. And that, of course, is going to be a huge point for Season 5 going forward. In fact, it's probably going to be the main story arc. If they don't need Earth to help mine and process what's going on in Goldilocks, it means that they control the supply of something that Earth doesn't have, can't get, and is probably going to need. So while Mars might not have a technological advantage over Earth yet, I'm sure that's coming pretty soon. Plus the fact that they're doing all this on the Red Planet with minimal involvement from back home, it also means that they've probably helped establish an economy on Mars that isn't so much built on the black market, because that's the only economy that we've seen so far. So whether they're going to have their own currency, how that's going to work, how it's going to work against any sort of Earth currency like the US dollar or the British pound, we're going to have to wait and see. But I really think they are going to develop this, because for Mars to be self-sufficient and sustain itself, it is going to need some sort of currency or economy in order to work, just like any society that's existed in history. But the big thing is here, of course, if you control the supply, you control the market. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see how that pans out. Something you might have noticed as well in the clip that's different from the last season is the space organisation, or I should say the union of all the different countries, was previously referred to as the M7, but now it's been referred to as the M6. So the clip lets us know that a company called Kurgan has won the bid to build this elevator on Mars over Dev's company. So are they going to be a thrown in Dev's side this season? I don't know. It might have been something that's happened in the time jump. We're going to have to wait and see how that pans out. But what do you think? Do you think one of the villains in this season is going to be some sort of big Earth conglomerate, or is it just going to be all us humans on Earth being the bad guys trying to oppress the Martians? They also mention that part of this elevator is constructed from iridium that's been mined from Goldilocks, making it much stronger than anything Earth or Mars actually has themselves. So this isn't the only bit of news that we get. It also mentions that both Dev's company and this Russian company are also involved with a hunt to find extraterrestrial life in the solar system. Now, this isn't little green men, but it's definitely going to tie into whatever Kelly and Aleda are going to be up to this season as well, because last season it did seem to set up that they were going to start exploring tunnels on Mars using automated drones, and I definitely think that's something that's going to get referenced this season as well. You can see that the news banner mentions searching on Saturn and Jupiter, and I bet that's probably going to be Io and Europa that are going to be the big focus on this. As I said, it isn't a manned mission yet, but we might get there by the end of the season. Now, it is a very short clip, so that's pretty much it for this video, but as I said, Apple has released a whole bunch more on Apple TV if you want to view them. They haven't released them on YouTube yet, but I would subscribe to the Apple TV channel just in case you miss anything, because while these aren't essential to the plot or really tie into anything that happens in the season, it does give us an overall sense of what's going on in the years that we've missed and what might be happening in the season to come. While I definitely think obviously Mars is going to be the main focus, it's pretty clear that we're going to go beyond Mars if this show does get a couple of more seasons, which we know that it is getting a season 6, so I guess by the end of this one we might be going to the final frontier, but as always we're going to have to wait and see. And I want to know what you guys think, what's going to happen in season 5, not regarding the whole Earth-Mars plot, but I'm looking for any subplots regarding Dev, Ed, Kelly, all that stuff. What do you think NASA and the United States government's going to be up to? And where do you think this show is going to end off by the end of season 5? Are we going to make it to other planets? Are we going to land there? Are we going to have colonies? Are we going to be building ships? I think this is going to be one of the most exciting seasons of For All Mankind, and I cannot wait. And I'm going to be covering every episode, so as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Make sure you've got the notifications turned on, and as always, leave a like if you've made it this far. And my name's Al. Thanks for watching.